And we are back again with another video, and today we're going to talk about buying a car out of state. So many of you have messaged me, even recently in the most recent videos, asking me how in the heck do I buy a car out of state? What's the process? How do I negotiate? How do I get the best price? And why in the hell, Brad, why in the hell do you own a police car? Well, that's a whole different video that you got to go watch, because that is my cop car, and that is my buddy Curtis driving it, because his Audi has some issues. Because why? Because it's an Audi, that's why. But guess what doesn't have issues? It's my 105,000 mile Crown Victoria that's already gone across country once, to Monterey once and back, driven through a hurricane and had no issues whatsoever, other than a TPMS sensor, which I'm going to fix. Other than that, that car is utterly perfect, right? All right, folks, we're going to jump in the Lamborghini, and we will talk about this on the way to the car meet we're going to with my kid, who's late as usual, and Curtis driving the cop car. So let's get this started.
Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats. I sting them if they never ever mind and they beeswax. I don't ever cap, but I'm wearing like 3 hats. Never been a rat, but I know where the cheese at. You'll never get a trophy, cause they all here where we at. You better believe that. When it's all said and done, I'll still be here standing. Never took a loss, and it ain't something that I'm planning. I dare you to say something. My focus is A1. Every dog has its day, it's been mine since day one. This is real grinding, I'm still climbing. While you still trying, I'm still shining. It's real blinding, and I'm getting hotter too. Talking top 2, I'm not a 2. You let the pressure bother you, and I do what I gotta do. Let's go hard.
Alright, so let's get started. I decided to park because it was just too loud. Too much going on. But let's talk about buying a car in another state. So the reason to do that I found is that if you live in a state where there isn't a lot of allocations, or in a state where people are brain damaged, like in California, and overpay for everything and are okay with it, and this is where some of you are going to say, well, that's because you live in California. And every time somebody says that, I literally picture that video or that movie Idiocracy, where the guy's sitting on his big lounge chair, and it doubles as a toilet, and he's sucking through a straw, and he's watering his plants with Gatorade.
Shut up! Oh, I told you already!
Please don't be stupid and say that. I'm not leaving my elderly parents, my mother-in-law, all of my lifelong friends, everybody, just because you think I should. I get it, California's stupid, but I can literally go skiing and then go to the beach in the afternoon, all in one day, maybe pop by the desert real quick and grab lunch, and not even have to go very far. So 2 hours away, I can do all those things. So I hate the taxes, I hate the politics, I'm with you, but I'm not going anywhere. So sorry for that diatribe. But bottom line is, if you live in California, you're going to overpay for everything, and the dealers literally say that. They go, well, you know, it's California. So I went to Illinois, I went out of state, and I bought 2 cars where I got them for sticker. There are dealerships across the country that maybe got more allocations, that are more willing to sell those cars. And what you might find right now is, while there's a lot more cars on the market, some dealers just didn't get any. So in their world, scarcity is significant versus abundance at another dealership, as we saw in yesterday's video, where there were a lot of cars at the dealership in Tustin at Tuttle Click. Lots of cars, so many cars that they're going to make a deal. Max at South Coast had a bunch of cars in comparison to other dealerships who have no cars. So of course, if you have no cars, they're going to have to charge as much as they can on the cars that they do have. So you don't work with those dealerships. They're going to hold out a lot longer for their markups. Still not get them, but they're going to hold out a lot longer unless some dummy comes in and buys them. So then, going out of state means start searching. Of course, common sense is start searching the states around your state. That way you can keep your drive time or shipping costs to a minimum. It just makes sense. Start and then fan out over time. You can go to Dodge.com and literally search a radius and keep extending that radius and keep finding cars, and just start dialing for dollars. Now keep in mind that some dealers do not want to sell you a car if you're out of state, because they want people in that state to buy that car, locals to buy that car, and service that car, because they make money on that. service that car at that dealership rather than ship the car out and never see you again. They would like to have repeat business as well, especially if they're doing you a solid and selling you a car at MSRP. They'd like you to come back and buy another car. So I committed back when I bought my car from Napleton's that I'd buy a bunch of cars from them until they decided that they needed to start hitting me with markups, in which case I said, see you later, goodbye. Maybe that'll be another video down the road, because I've never talked about how sideways that went, but it went sideways as I kind of expected it to at some point. But nonetheless, I was a repeat customer, and that did avail me the opportunity to buy a couple cars at least at MSRP. So I wrote down some notes, so I'm going to glance over here sometimes so I don't forget. Let's talk about the shopping process. The shopping process is just getting on the phone and calling. The thing is you want to call and sometimes maybe even ask for the fleet manager, but try to get a salesman on the phone who wants a deal, who needs a deal, meaning don't call on a Saturday, don't call on a Sunday, don't call on a Friday night. You want to call when they are bored. So when I was shopping for my cars out of state the first time around, I started calling mid-morning Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even Thursday, because there's not a lot of traffic in those dealerships at that point. And you're going to get somebody who's going to have the time and patience to try to figure out a deal with you. If you call them when they're very busy, they're going to blow you off. They have tons of people in the dealership. They've got appointments set up for the weekends. In the evenings as well is sometimes challenging. So call during the day. Take some time off. Don't call during lunch because they're probably at lunch. So 10 a.m. on a Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, Thursday morning is a good time to call those dealerships and catch a salesperson who has time on their hands and just have a friendly conversation. You can even say things like, hey, look, I know this is a long shot. I live out of state, but I'm looking at buying a Hellcat or a Scat Pack, and I noticed you had 3 on your website, and I'm willing to make a deal. I'm a real buyer. I've got my bank approved, my loan approved. I'm ready to go. I can literally fly in tomorrow, or we can do the deal completely online if you guys are capable of doing that, and literally the deal can be done. I can wire you a deposit instantaneously. I can send it any way you wish, and we'll get this deal done. Are you good with that? And start off, because that means this is a deal if you want to make a deal. And by the way, what price are you asking? Are there any add-ons? And get that all worked out. And then ask him to please just email you the purchase sheet, the deal sheet. That way you see what's all on there and say, look, I'll sign that, even though it's not a contract, I'll sign that and send you a deposit. That way we're both agreeing that that's the price. And if you want, I can fly out there. If you're capable of doing the deal online, I don't need to fly out there. But if you want me to, I'll fly out there. So figure a $300 or $400 flight and you get, I don't know, $10,000, $15,000 off of the car. I literally chose to fly first class to St. Louis to go buy my Hellcat because I figured the $700 extra on the plane ticket beat the hell out of the $30,000, $40,000 they wanted on markups, $25,000 or so on markups on these Hellcats. So I decided to just sit in the front and enjoy myself. So that made it easy, plus getting to go there, meet the people, shake their hands, and do the deal in person, and then roll that sucker off the lot. That always feels good. Plus, I was planning on driving the car home, so it made sense. We had friends in town I could visit. It all worked out. That was 2,000 miles away, by the way. Go check those videos out. Next, for financing, choose a credit union to get approved with that is national. So Navy Federal is national. Literally, I'm sitting there in Illinois and I'm thinking, man, I want to buy a car. When I bought the white Scat Pack, and I found it online at Napleton's where I was buying a bunch of my cars at, and I thought, you know what, I want to drive a car back. I think that would be a fun thing to do. So I went to my app. I found out there were 2 Navy Federal credit unions within a little circle, little 5-6 mile circle of where I was at, and I went to the closest one. I filled out the app online, got approved, picked that as the branch to pick up the check, and drove right over there, and O'Fallon, Missouri, I think it was, and picked up the check, went back to Napleton's, and we did the deal. So that's what I love about Navy Federal. Most credit unions, and make sure that they're not just regional credit unions, they're national. Or a bank that you're going directly to is a national bank, and that they don't mind lending on a car you're buying somewhere else. Just make sure of that. You don't want to find out that, no, we only do business in California, we're not going to do business somewhere else. So make sure of that when you're shopping for your loan. Navy Fed's a great option if you have any military background or family with military background. Also, figure shipping into the cost. So figure anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 to ship your car to you, depending on where you're at in the country, or you can always drive the car back, but just know that mileage is going on that car right away. I didn't mind doing it because I put miles on my cars, but some of you may have an issue with that. Dealers likely not going to pay for shipping, but the good news is a lot of dealers already have relationships with shippers and can probably get you a better deal than you could find yourself. So ask them if they'll at least help you get a deal on shipping, and that you'd be happy to pay that. Next, when you do the deal, you need to establish who's going to pay the taxes and registration. Now, you're going to have to pay it, but who's going to actually do the act of paying it? So that's where you've got to work that out with the dealership. In my case, the dealership handled everything. They collected the taxes from me, they collected the registration, they looked it up, they collected enough, they'd refund me if it was not enough, or if it was too much, and then they went ahead and paid everything, handled everything for me. And then I just simply got a letter in the mail from the DMV saying that I needed to go get a smog and I needed to go get the VIN verified. So I went and got the VIN verified and get a smog. And here's the good news. If it's a used car, as long as it's got 7,500 miles or more, you're okay bringing it to California. Check with your state to make sure, as long as it passes smog. So the VIN verification was easy. I got the smog, and then I just set an appointment with the DMV, and you go wait in line. They come out, they check the VIN, they fill out a form, they sign it, and then you can finish the registration. Now, Napleton's used a registration company that I could have sent everything back to, but I decided just to walk it all through myself and speed it up and get everything done. But they should handle it for you. Now, some dealers, some of you who have done this, have told me the dealer did not collect everything. They just handed you a purchase contract, took your money, and said, you better, now when you go to DMV and register it, you need to figure out how to pay all the taxes and everything, which is fine. The DMV will walk you through everything in your state. You probably call it something other than DMV, but in California it's Department of Motor Vehicles. And then they'll walk you through how to pay the taxes, what you owe, and your registration to be able to get that car registered. Either way, it doesn't really matter because everybody's there to support you and help you. And whenever you have to pay taxes, there's always someone there to help make sure that that's easy for you because they want your money. And next, if you're buying a car that did not have the 50-state sticker under the hood, so make sure the car you're buying before, and by the way, make sure the salesperson actually takes a picture of the sticker under the hood, especially if you're in California, to make sure that car is absolutely a 50-state car. A gentleman messaged me a few weeks ago, and the salesman said, yes, it's fine, and they shipped the car, and when he popped the hood, it was a 49-state car, and now he's in a world of pain trying to find a solution to be able to register that car in California. And it's got a VLT flag. I mean, it's a big freaking mess. So make sure, have them actually send it to you. Because this happened to me when I told the salesman at Napleton's, hey, that one's good, right? Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. But we didn't check it until we were halfway through the deal. And then I had to register the car in Illinois, which really sucked. And if you watch that old video, I handled that with DMV. DMV even said to me, just do it until you get to 7,500 miles and then register it in California. Thing is if you register it in another state and you re-register it in California before a year, you're gonna have to pay the difference in the taxes between the two states. For me, Illinois wasn't that much different in taxes, and I ended up just waiting a year anyways because I never had any issues with cops, so nobody messed with me. But keep in mind, if you register the car in another state because of that sticker, you just want to get that car, and you have a friend living in somewhere else, your current state may take issue with that. And in California, there's a 10-day rule. If you bring a car from another state, you've got 10 days to get that thing out of here or register it. I believe that's the number. Don't quote me on that. And the risk here is, how do you get caught? Well, I'm at car meets all the time. Cops are coming all the time. But what if you get pulled over on Wednesday, you get a ticket, and then 11, 12 days later, you get another ticket. 11, 12 days later, you get another ticket. And that ticket is for something else, but it shows on paper that you are there longer than 10 days. It could trigger a flag with the DMV and force you to either register it there, get it the hell out of the state, and pay some fines and penalties. So keep that in mind. Be careful. I'm not recommending doing it, but sometimes to get the car, you have to do it if it's got that sticker on it. And lastly, if you do have to register it in another state, then make sure your insurance company's okay with that. Some insurance companies have completely vacated some states and don't want anything to do with them, and make sure that the insurance company you are with will allow it to be registered in another state and parked at your house. Generally, all the insurance company cares about is where that car is garaged. But make sure, otherwise you could end up in a situation where your insurance company won't take you and you've got to move to another insurance company. So hopefully that helps you all. Buying a car out of state can save you a bunch of money, whether it's new or used. Sometimes it can really, really benefit you. So with that, everybody, please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Now let's go to this beat. Everybody's waiting. Check this out, folks. Thought the video was over, and then this guy rolls in. Pink Challenger TA. Mopar! I don't think everybody realizes that the coolest car just pulled up. This is cool. I'm a Mopar guy, dude. This is crazy. And we got pink cars in the family. That's my daughter's pink Supra. My wife's car's pink. This thing's cool, dude. Wow. Did you restore it?
No, it was restored in the 90s. Like 30-year-old.
That's so awesome, dude.
Someone stole this plate. Oh, the VIN plate? That's why it's called.